Yes.
I have a question.
Please, Candace, go ahead.
How did he just throw out this?
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Don't worry. Don't worry. I think I know what he did. We're going to check it on the day. But I want to address what we've already gotten here first. We've already gotten that the 15-pound average loss is incomplete by itself. Because if you say on average I lost 15 pounds, how many of you would guess that somebody gained 21? Probably not, right? Or lost 58? I don't think your mind doesn't go to that level of variation, which is why I'm glad we also have this level of variation. The 16 pounds here to good. We have a good metric there. Now, tell me one more time. Anna, you said a percentage weight loss or a percentage of weight changed. Anna's question can be answered on a very, very simple level by just looking at the data. Look at the data. What percentage of the women lost weight? So there are 35 total women, yes? Right. How many of them lost weight? You can count the 0 or not if you want to. It doesn't matter to me. You can use either one. So if the percentage of lost weight would simply be something out of 35. So if you look up all the negative numbers, $25?
I got 26.
You got 26? I trust you. Oh, if you count this, did you count the 0, Eric?
No, I didn't.
You did. I trust you. All right, 26. If you 25, 26, we're gonna be close-ish.
75%?
75%? Love it.
About?
I love that. And we should technically put a what on there if we're trying to apply it to the population. What should we slap on there if we wanted to apply this to the population?
Margin of error.
Yes, 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 yes. And on a sample this small, it's going to be pretty large. I'm guessing around 15%. I'm going to guess. We're going to calculate it later with the in-class quiz. And I say later, I mean probably next Tuesday. That's okay. So plus or minus 15% would take us down to about 60, up to about 90. That's still above half. So you might say, well, more than half are going to lose weight. And I love using percentages because they're so intuitive on it. I do love that. The trick with using percentages and only percentages here is that we lose the quantity of weight lost, right? So what I'd love to see if we could do, and I love that you brought up percentages, can we fuse percentages with the amounts? In other words, these two seem very disparate. Percent that lost weight with how much weight. If there was a way to bring both of those together, we're percentage-driven people. We use words like most, at least, at most, all the time when in our discussions with each other. You know, you didn't take the trash out again? What the hell? You never do. We like those kinds of words. What do you mean never? 9 times out of 10. You don't probably get down to that level of percentage, but nonetheless, you have it. You do. Okay, that's totally cool.
I took it out last week.
That's okay. That's okay. That's all right. But if we could somehow take that intuitive, how much did it weigh?
About 5 pounds.
Precision, precision. See, that's the thing. We don't often think with that level of precision, but if we could somehow fuse the precision of a how much with the intuition of a percent, we're golden, right?
Yeah.
So I have a question for you guys first, before we get into this. Should you even have used the average? So we calculated the average was 15 pounds lost, right? Was that even a fair measure? Was that even a fair measure? So we got no, we got a no, we got a shrunk. I love that, yeah. Let me ask you another question. For those of you who are saying no, and for those of you shrugging going, I'm not sure, when would you not use an average if you were talking about representing data fairly? When would you not?
When you have a big outlier. Yeah.
Gail says when you had a big outlier. Candace, you're second in that. Kevin, you're third in that.
Variation like we have right now in the data, then why would we not use that?
Well, if I make backpedal a smidge, all the variation, we have to quantify that a little
We
better.
don't have a mode.
We don't have a mode.
Well, we do.
We do.
We have the 25.
There's that negative 25, which is actually lower than the average, if you think about it.
So we do have a mode.
All right? But then again, we also have that weird mode with the keys that was nowhere near the average. It was like 20%
and then we can't
away.
do a median because it would just, there's so much variation, it'd be hard to do a median.
But we could. I mean, the calculator gives it to you if you scroll down. Our median's negative 17. It's actually not that far off the average. So the median and the average they're within 2 pounds of each other, which maybe that's close, maybe that's far. It's hard to know what close and far mean. So Gail, this outlier talk. How can we identify an outlier? What would it be good to see right now? Yes, you guys liked so much when we drew the curves of those house prices. And remember when I asked you to draw the curve of my 95 students? You're like, what the hell? It was surprising. Why don't we check the shape to see what the shape looks like?
Right.
Right? We decided last week that if the curve comes out kind of balanced, the average is fine to use. Then the variation balances. The highs and the lows balance. For every high, there's a low, roughly the same. For every outlier high, there might be an outlier low, in which case, that's okay. High variation, but a fair center. So let's look. I always like looking at the shape, because looking at the shape of the data first, before saying, throw the average out. Let's do it. Let's do it. So today we're going to learn a new skill, which is how to graph this stuff. How to make a histogram.